Joe Rance was born on March 31st, 1914, to Harry and Nellie Rance.
Joe's mom dies from an illness when Joe was only 4 years old. Harry remarries Thula, who does not have any empathy or love for Joe. Thula gives birth to more children over the next couple years and tells Harry he must choose between his new family or Joe.
When Joe is 15 years old, Harry moves his family to Seattle, leaving Joe in Sequim with a half-built house. Joe then goes to live with his brother in Seattle so that he can attend Roosevelt High School. When Joe was at Roosevelt High School, a man had been watching Joe Rance training at the high school.
The man hands Joe a business card which says that he's Al Ulbrichtson, the UW crew coach. Joe decides to try out for the crew team along with at least 100 other people. Joe makes the junior varsity boat after trying out.
Al Ulbrichtson creates the goal of taking his team to the 1936 Olympics because he has never taken a team to the Olympics in his rowing career. The UW crew then competes at Poughkeepsie against California, who is their biggest enemy. The UW crew beats California, but then is not able to sustain winning every single time against other teams.
Al Ulbrichtson starting to have doubt in the JV team. Al Ulbrichtson starts to shuffle the boat by putting people and taking people out of the junior varsity and varsity boat. Joe struggles to keep his place in the boat, and Pocock gives him advice to not take everything upon himself and be so independent when rowing with the crew.
Eventually, Ulbrichtson decides he's taking the junior varsity boat to the qualifyings for the Olympics. The boat was made up of Bob Mauch, Don Hume, Joe Rance, George Hunt, Jim McMillan, John White, Gordon Adam, Charles Day, and Roger Morris. The UW crew trains from dusk to dawn and end up beating the other U.S. teams at the qualifyings for the Berlin Olympics.
The UW crew team won the qualifyings and is representing the U.S. at the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. The UW crew team is notified that if they would like to compete and represent the U.S. at the Olympics, they would have to pay their own way, or else the runner-up, Penn State, would go instead. The UW crew team raised $5,000 and were able to travel to Berlin in third class.
On the ship ride over to Berlin, Don Hume fell ill. Ulbrichtson was not sure if Hume could compete with the rest of the crew. But when the crew arrives in Berlin, Ulbrichtson has them relax so they won't be too tired for the big race.
Even though Hume isn't feeling the best, he competes with the crew and helps lead them to victory. The UW crew was placed in the farthest row, closest to the bleachers, which is a disadvantage because that's where the winds hit hard and make it harder to row. When the race began, the UW team was behind all the other crews.
Mauch had Hume pick up the speed, and when Hume did, the UW crew passed the other boats. The UW beat Italy and Germany by a sixth of a second.
The team won gold, but Hitler did not want to meet with them. Epilogue. Joe went back home and married his childhood sweetheart, Joyce. He promised to never put his family through what his dad put his family through. The 1936 UW crew would meet yearly to row on Lake Union.